This is number 8 in a series of Jewish jokes. First joke. Group of Jewish prisoners are sitting around in the penitentiary, and they tell jokes. They've been telling jokes for so many years that they finally assign a number to each joke. Instead of telling the whole joke they all heard, they go number 7, they all laugh. Number 9, they all laugh. Anyway, a new Jewish prisoner comes, and he sees this routine, and he wants to get in on it. So he finds out all the jokes and what number they go by. So his favorite joke happens to be number 16. So he says one day, I want a turn. So they say, all right, big shot, tell your joke. The guy goes, 16. Nobody laughs. He said, what's the matter? He said, you didn't tell it right. All right, 2 jokes about taluses. This non-Jewish guy wants to get into a Jewish country club, but obviously with a name like John Boot and he makes yachts, he's going to have a hard time. So he gets a Jewish friend to instruct him how to get into the Jewish country club. The guy says, first of all, don't tell him your name is John Boot. Tell him your name is Chaim Yankel. Chaim Yankel. It takes him a long time to learn how to say that. And don't tell him you make yachts. The Jews don't make yachts. Tell him you make taluses. What's a talus? Don't worry, they won't ask you questions. So the guy gets to the meeting. These 3 old Jewish guys looking him up and down. He doesn't look Jewish. What's your name? Chaim Yankel. All right, look at each other. All right, said it right. What do you do for a living? The guy says, I make taluses. So one guy says, I got a question for you. I always wondered that thing around the neck that has the bracha on it, what do you call that? And he said, he thinks to himself, I don't know what a bracha is. I don't know what the thing around the neck is. So he says, I don't know. I make the sleeves. All right. Anyway, so guy goes to cleaners, and he's got his talus there, and he's brought the same talus to the same cleaner for all the years. And he says to the cleaner, new guy, Korean guy, took over the cleaner, do you know what to do with this? The guy says, absolutely. Come back in a week. Guy comes back in a week, gets a bill for $142. $142 to clean a talus? What? Korean says, well, I saw all those knots at the end of that fabric. I had to unravel all the knots. All right, so Jewish guy sitting in a bar, and he's next to an Asian guy. And they introduce each other. My name is Goldstein. My name is Jung. Anyway, after a few minutes, the Jewish guy throws his drink in the face of the Korean. He goes, that's for Pearl Harbor. Pearl Harbor? That was the Japanese. I'm Korean. Japanese, Korean, what's the difference? So then the Korean guy throws his drink at the Jewish guy. That's for the Titanic. Titanic, that was an iceberg. Iceberg, Goldberg, what's the difference? So now this isn't funny, but it's a little insight into Jewish life. When Al Gore nominated Lieberman to be the vice presidential candidate, they eventually lost. But anyway, Lieberman calls up his mother, 86-year-old Yetta, in the Bronx, and says, Mom, you won't believe it. Al Gore told me that if we win, we can do Rosh Hashanah at the White House. Yetta says, ay vey, such a schlep. I got to get the suitcases down. Don't worry, Mom, I'll send Air Force 2. My Secret Service will pack you. It'll be no problem. All right, I'll go. Anyway, they hang up, and she calls her friend Frida. Frida, you won't believe me. My son called. Your son the doctor? No, the other one. Anyway, a few little insight into Jewish jokes. Final joke for this series. A little Jewish guy applies for a job of logging. He's going to cut down trees. So the foreman says, buddy, you don't look like you can lift an axe. How are you going to get a job as a logger? Guy says, you have any credentials? He says, yeah. Do you ever hear of the Sahara Forest? Sahara Forest? You mean the Sahara Desert? Well, that's after I got finished with it. Anyway, enjoy these jokes.